Preview.
Hi, I'm your host, Bob Saintner. If you're looking for answers or new ideas and theories about the paranormal, then come join me on my journey as I try and meet every person and team in the paranormal field, so together we can obtain the answer to the question, can we communicate with those that have passed? So come watch us as we use different methods, theories, and equipment to help us collect as much evidence as possible so together we can all keep moving forward towards the same goal. Follow me as I travel from everywhere and anywhere to investigate. There is no location I will not go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Paranormal Wavelengths tonight. My name's Bob Saintner. I'm your host, like every Sunday night. I hope everyone's doing good. Michelle, hit me up in the message room. Make sure you can hear me okay. I know you said sound was good with the video. We are good. Wow, everything is running pretty decent tonight. Knock on wood. I'm a little bit farther away from the camera tonight, a little wider, because our guests that are going to be on at 9:30, Gary and Virginia, the founders of Fire and Ice Paranormal Investigators, are going to be live on the screen behind me tonight. It's been a few shows since I've had someone live on the screen behind me here, so that'll be pretty cool. That's why I'm a little farther away. We were testing it. I got a couple new little segments tonight to test before they come on. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I've had a pretty busy weekend. We've been working out in the yard, moving rocks, lots of rocks. Very tired. But tonight, for the emails, I had sent out on Facebook a message about sending EVPs. Instead of doing emails, we're doing EVPs that were sent through the email, instead of actually doing a question. So tonight we got an overwhelming response. I could only do 6 tonight to have enough time. Next week we might do a bunch more at the same segment, or it might be a little bit longer next week. I'll give you some details here in announcements in just a minute. But first off, we have to have a word from our sponsor. And as everyone knows, our sponsor is pedalsandsage.com. The owner is Pam Richards, and she is part of Paranormal Wavelengths Investigators. So here's a word from our sponsor.
For thousands of years, cultures from around the world have burned secret plants in a bowl. To drive away negative energies and restore harmony. With these tools, you can smudge. By using the same techniques as ancient traditions once did. So if you need items and tools for your smudging, then please visit pedalsandsage.com. Helping those in need. pedalsandsage.com.
Sending my light, positive energy. Have a nice day.
And remember, if you need to do some smudging, trying to bring harmony back in your life or your environment, your house and that, please go to pedalsandsage.com. Pam's got a lot of great things over there, and she also has other links to other sites that she's affiliated with that are very good. So definitely check it out. So that is a word from our sponsor. Next up, we're going to do EVPs for our email section. I was only able to pick 6 to make it in a time frame here. And some of the people that did send them, don't worry, I'll get to them next week or the week after. As everybody knows, I always get to emails, and especially now with the EVPs, it takes a little bit more time to sort through them, because I wanted to get, when I'm doing EVP, get people's team represented and everything. And remember, you can send it at paranormalwavelinks@yahoo.com. And I'm working on a segment too, if you have pictures, because I was talking with Gary just a little while ago before the show, and when Gary and Virginia are going to be on later, they actually sent me some pictures over. We're going to show people some of their evidence they've gotten, and they also are going to share EVPs with us later. So it's going to be really cool. So if you have pictures, you can send them over too, and we'll start a segment up for picture section and get everybody's opinion. Now, excuse me. Now remember, everyone in the room, I'm going to play the EVP a couple times. I'm not going to tell you what the team or the person thinks it said at first. Give me your opinions in the chat room. But everyone be respectful. When I do tell you what it is, don't freak out on people if you think it's something totally different. Just give an opinion. And be respectful. That's what I'm getting at. But the first EVP up was actually from a guest a few shows back. It was Stephen Hill. And his EVP, he's actually, sorry about this, I'm messing up. He is the author of Something Unseen and the founder of Piedmont Paranormal Research. And he got this EVP he had shared with us last time he was on. Let me get this up here. Sorry, this is the first night with this segment. It's one of those things where got to get the kinks out, the little tweak in it, as I call it. All right, this is Stephen Hill's team that he's a founder of, and here is the EVP we're going to play. I'll play it twice, and let me know what you think.
You say hi, Gina.
One more time.
You say hi, Gina.
As you could hear, Stephen was asking to say hi, Gina, and near the end there, he was using a Joe's box. Stephen's lucky enough to have one, but looking at the room, a lot of people say they could hear it. Yeah, it was a Joe's box. When Stephen was on the show, he was able to get hold of one. Someone happened to just give it to him the way he was telling me. So I was like, man, you're pretty lucky to be able to just get one of those on just a whim. The next one up is Michelle Vance. Michelle is always in the room here. And Michelle, I couldn't download the logo for their team. Their team is the Old Gilchrist County Jail Ghost Hunters. And I was trying to get a logo from her, but it just wouldn't download right. So I thought if we had a picture of the jail, Arlene is the owner of the jail. She was on the show last year talking about the jail. I've been up there investigating with the team, and it's an awesome place. And she sent over EVP here, and I'm going to play it here. All right, here we go.
My name is Sherry. Listen.
All right.
Looks like Hot Gina.
Oh, sorry about that. Told you I got to work the kinks out. Now, this is not, I know it sounds like a bull in a china shop. I'm moving my mic a little. I'm going to play it again. Listen closely. You hear it very faint there.
My name is Sherry. Listen.
Michelle had said they had got, the EVP was by you, they're saying. You hear it very faint. We'll play it one more time.
My name is Sherry. Listen.
Definitely heard it that time. That was awesome. That's an awesome EVP you sent over, Michelle. Yeah, I know. I saw that message in it where I should have wore the Gilchrist hat that you guys sent me. I'll wear it next show for you. I've been wearing the Not Just White Noise, but that was a very cool EVP. The next one up is from Chris Nicoletti. He is a member of Scream Paranormal Research from New Jersey, and he sent over an EVP, and it was, if you give me 1 second here, I did it wrong. Don't you just love this? It's like, there we go. Scream Paranormal Research. He sent over one, and this is a pretty cool one too. Give me 1 second. Alright, here we go.
I'm sorry, what was your name again? Jim. I heard a whisper.
That's pretty cool. You hear him say, I heard a whisper. Let's play it again.
I'm sorry, what was your name again? Jim. I heard a whisper.
We'll play it one more time.
I'm sorry, what was your name again? Jim. I heard a whisper.
See, that was a cool EVP that Chris had sent over, because you hear him say, right after you hear the voice, they said it sounded like the man says, Jim Healy. And it's funny because you hear the person right after you hear the EVP, you hear him say, I swear I heard a whisper. Which that gives you a lot of, tells you like, he heard something right there at the moment, but not clear enough, and then you catch it on EVP. That's pretty cool. You have a personal experience, and you have a EVP backing it up. The next one is from Pam Richards. This was a residential case. She is a member of the team here, Paranormal Wavelengths Investigators. And we were on a residential. She caught this actually on her video camera. So we will play this one. And please give me your opinion when you hear this one, because me and Pam are kind of on the fence here. We think it says one thing, but we have sent it to some of our colleagues, and they thought it said something else. So take a quick listen here, please. I know I tried cleaning it up as best I could, but it's got that high pitch, but right after that you hear a voice. I looped it twice, and we'll do it one more time here. Let me know what you think about it in the room there. We think it says, now get out. And we sent it over to some colleagues, and they thought it said, help us out. So I'll play it one more time. Give us your opinion. Yeah, you definitely hear to get out in there. So listen one more time. And I know talking with some of our other friends that are on different teams, they thought it said help us out. So we're going to, all these EVPs we're playing right now, we are going to play on, I'm going to put on Facebook for everyone to check out. And you can give me your opinion on Facebook later too. Yeah, I know that's all I could make out too was the get out. I'm not quite sure what it says right before it. It's kind of hard to tell. But I know a lot of people, I think it sounds like now, but I know our friends thought it said help us out. The next one up is from Desiree Page. She is a member of Paranormal Consulting Agency. And this EVP was taken out at the abandoned house in West Palm Beach. So let me know what you think of this one. It's right near the end there. Play it again. It's pretty cool. One more time. All right. That one was by Desiree Page, and that was out at the abandoned house in West Palm Beach. And right near the end there, you hear, you left me. It sounds like a small child, really. That was a very cool, because we've gotten a lot of good EVPs out there. We've got some evidence, too, on we're using Hackbox out there. But I'll be putting these on Facebook so you guys can give me your opinion. We've got one more, and it is from Kathy Wickman. She used to be on Florida Ghost Team. Back in the day, I was on Florida Ghost Team with her. And she got this one out at the Highland Manor. It's up in Apopka. I had got us in there when I was with Florida Ghost Team to investigate the location. And then we had a Spend the Night event. And that is where Kathy had gotten this EVP. You can hear it right at the end. It's actually more of a intelligent response to a question she was asking. Here we go.
Mrs. McBride, I like what you've done with the place.
Sorry about that. Play it one more time. It's right near the end there. You'll hear it.
Mrs. McBride, I like what you've done with the place.
You heard it right near the end there. After she says she likes what you've done with the place, you hear real faint near the end there, a thanks. If you can hear it a little bit better with headphones, it's a little hard to hear when you're trying to listen through the speakers, through the mic. So I'm going to put these on Facebook so you can listen to them at your own leisure and put your headsets and that on and listen to it real close up. And I'd like to thank everyone that sent the EVPs in through the email. If anybody else wants to send any in, just please, when you send it, give me your name and your team's name you're affiliated with. If you're not affiliated with a team, let me know what location it was if you're on a Spend a Night event. And so I can give you credit and the location you're at or the team that you're with. So remember, paranormalwavelengths@yahoo.com. Definitely, please hit me up with these EVPs because I've been getting a lot of questions and theories and that, And now I'm getting a lot of people sending EVPs in. And if you have any pictures you want to share too, send them too, and I'll put them on here. So I thank everyone that participated, and those that did send them. I did send you an email and let you know that I couldn't get it on this show, and I'll get it on next week. So I know time is clicking by here, so we will get to our announcements. Our announcements are pretty quick tonight. First off, next week's show, March 13th, we are going to have David Dessett on. He's a member of the TAPS West Coast team, but due to some family matters, he's going to be out of town, so we had to cancel. We're going to reschedule him later in the month here or at the beginning of April. So right now, I can't say. I'm in the process of trying to get somebody. It's not a definite yet, so I don't want to say who it is. But if we don't, next week's show will be an EVP, pictures, and a whole bunch of different things. It'll just be me talking and sharing lots of evidence that people have sent me. And there's also an email that I haven't answered within the last year. People have been sending me a lot of emails asking me why I do this show, why I do investigating. Some people know from my old intro because of I do a lot of this stuff due to my daughter Morgan that had passed away. And people have asked me questions, what happened with her. And next week I'm going to answer those emails, and I'll tell you the story of my daughter Morgan that passed away from heart disease. I'll tell the story from the beginning to the end till now. So if we don't get a guest on, it'll be just everything and anything paranormal next week. Then the following week, on March 20th, we are going to have Trish Yancey on. She is a host of Encounters Live over there. Some say she's the better half of the Yanceys. I'm kind of on the fence there, because me and Tim have been buddies for so many years now. I think it's over 3 years me and Tim have been buddies. So I'm kind of on the fence there because I talk with Tim a little bit more. But I met Trish at my birthday party, and she's an awesome lady. A lot of positive energy just flowing from her. When you stand there talking with her, you just feel it coming off her. It's awesome. She's going to be on talking about Encounters Live, why she got into paranormal, and the other things that she is up to. I know she is also the owner of Fun Learning Adventures. She works a lot with kids. So it's going to be an awesome interview with Trish. So definitely come out on March 20th. And as of that time, that's all we have booked for right now. So that's why I said announcements are short this week. Also, I don't know, I thought Tim was in the room earlier. I saw on Facebook a little earlier today that I know Trish and their son were sick. So Tim, sending some positive energy your way, brother. I hope they're feeling better, because I know the bug has been going around. And I am putting up the cross to keep it away from my family, because I don't need it running through, because once it hits one kid, it just nonstop. So we are going to play the brand new main events here, and then we're going to get Gary and Virginia on, the founders of Fire and Ice, paranormal investigators. All right.
Bobby, you there?
Yes, I am here. We have Gary and Virginia on the line here. I just need video, guys.
Hold on, sir. Trying to get the chat up. We can't get that up.
Yeah, sometimes it messes up like that. I know people only see darkness and voices. Ooh.
Okay, we should have chat up. Or the video.
All right. Let's get this. You know, it works so perfect. Perfect. Let me just move over so I can. All right, let's see. All right, we got you guys live. I'm kind of blocking Virginia's head a little. Let me move over this way. There you go. Oh, yeah, stay closer to Gary. That's good. You can pretend you're married to him, right? Let me make sure, Michelle, if you guys could just say a couple things. Can you hear okay, Michelle?
Test, 1, 2, chat.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, this is Bob's problem. Give me 1 second. I turned my sound down. I'm kind of testing different things. There we go. All right, now guys say something.
Test, 1, 2.
There we go. Can you hear that better, Michelle? I'm waiting for Michelle. I can hear you good now. It's nice and loud. I want to see why not. Still a little low. All right. It sounds like it's going to sound like a hole in a china shop. I got to move my mic over. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. Trying to adjust the audio here for us. Oh, that's a lot better.
Is that better?
We're actually doing good. See a lot of our peeps in there. PCA and Astronomy Lover and
Rusty.
Rusty's in there. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see all our friends in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in here tonight. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yay!
Hey, how's the weather over there on the West Coast?
It's actually getting a little bit chilly right now.
I'm telling you, today had to be like the best day. It was on the East Coast here. It was about 75 out and real windy. I mean, it felt like it was. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. To me, it felt like a light summer, like August in Buffalo. All the windows were open, just hanging out. I see you waving everyone. Are you reading the chat room?
Yes.
I try not to read the chat room because when I watch my archives, I notice if I read stuff, you see my lips. I don't say nothing, but you see me reading it with my lips. And people are like, what is he doing?
Just a lot of people we know from the people that watch the different shows and people we've investigated with, and it's cool to see everyone out there tonight.
That's awesome. Hey, if you're in the chat room and you want to give a shout out, just pop it in the chat room and Michelle will relay it to me, and I'll let Gary and Virginia know that you're representing. But first question I had for you, I was talking with Gary earlier, and I had sent some questions over. I'll start with Virginia. Why did you get into the paranormal field?
You want short version or long version?
I can go all night. Well, that kind of sounded bad, but I have a lot of time.
Well, it wasn't so much getting into the paranormal field. I mean, you know, being who I am as a medium, you know, it's been my whole life. And when you sit on the back burner and there's nothing you can do with it, and, you know, you get these signs and symbols and you can't tell anybody, you kind of have to figure out an outlet. So, watching Ghost Hunters one night, I think it was, I was like, you know, I could do that and nobody would know who I am. And nobody would know what I could do. So I could do the science. So he's like, go ahead, go for it. So I told my boss, and the next thing I know, she's handing me a phone number, and next thing I know, I'm in a paranormal group.
That's awesome. When did you, at what age did you learn you had a gift?
I was 4.
Really? How did you know? Was it a family member that talked to you that maybe passed?
Well, it was sitting there talking in my front room while my mother was in the kitchen talking to a woman. And my mother had asked me who I was speaking to, and I started telling her the lady's name and kind of described her, and At first, her jaw dropped, and the next thing I know, she's coming out with black and white photos, wanting me to identify who I spoke to. And I had pointed out the photo, and it happened to be an aunt or a second aunt that had passed away for quite a while. And then, of course, when I got to, I think I was 8 or 9 when the family secret started coming out.
What's the family secret? Do a lot of family members have the gift?
Well, it's not so much the gift. It explained a lot of the stuff that I was going through at the time. Because, I mean, my mother had the ability to see spirit, but it went a lot deeper than that. When she started telling me of my father's heritage and where it went, where it came from, and then her heritage and where it came from, and when we got like a mixture of Native American, witches, and mediums all in one.
So you got it all going on there.
Yeah. So it was just more, giving me the history so that when it came down to it later on, I would know where these signs and symbols and some direction.
That was cool though that your family was open to it like that and would help almost guide you, giving you information.
It wasn't my whole family.
The whole, yeah, it's been a while. It's taken a while to get her to where she's at now. Not everyone accepted it or believed it at first. There were a few snide remarks, and of course through the years, it's gotten to the point to where they now call her up and ask for her advice and opinions and what she's getting and stuff. So at first it wasn't like that.
It was my mom. My mom was the biggest thing. My mom told me everything.
So with the rest of the family kind of was lagging behind, huh?
Yeah, because it was one of those things you just didn't talk about.
Well, yeah, back then, I was talking with, I guess, last week, I grew up in the 80s, and no one talked really about paranormal. It wasn't on TV, really. I mean, they had some different shows on, like that Leonard Nimoy show. Was it Leonard Nimoy? From Star Trek? I think he used to do a show with, you see Bigfoots and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not so mainstream. Like today, you can pretty much turn different channels on different nights and get some type of paranormal type show, So it wasn't as mainstream back in the day.
Well, not only that, but back in the day, if you were caught talking to something that wasn't there in somebody else's eyes, you were considered mental.
They were taken to the doctor to see what kind of meds they could get you on.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays, it's just trying to get all the kids on meds for ADHD. I made it through school with it. I didn't take no meds. No comments from the chat room about that, please. So, Gary...
Yeah, that's what got me started into the paranormal.
See, that's cool. Because I know, talking with Rich and them from Paranormal Consulting Agency, he was telling me a lot of stuff about you guys doing the investigation. And it interests me when I meet sensitives. Do you like being called a sensitive?
It's a label. A sensitive is a label. A sensitive, you might as well just call somebody a medium because it's the same thing.
I know,
it really is. It's just everybody has certain abilities. Some people are empathic. Some people can hear. Some people can see. Some people can sense. Some people just have intuition. But it's all under the same thing.
I know some people don't like being called psychic, so...
I hate that. Oh my God, that is a word I just cannot.
Yeah.
I can't stomach that word.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I try not to. I used to say it when I first, because I was very skeptic about sensitive mediums, and the more I've worked with them, I mean, I'm a lot less skeptic about it, because there's stuff like Desiree Page that's in the room, and Pam Richards that's on my team, and Tammy Fife, I
love Tammy and Des. They're so awesome.
I know I've done cases with them where they were all together, and they all did a psychic sweep through that abandoned house in West Palm Beach, and each of them nailed one area without talking to each other when we did a review later, and that's just something I can't explain. I'm skeptic, but it makes me think, like, how would they all know one area, get the same feeling without talking with each other, So that's...
As paranormal investigators, when you have somebody that can see things that people like myself, I'm not sensitive really at all. A little bit. I mean, I'll say I'm a closet sensitive.
She gave you the look.
It's nice to have somebody like that on your team that can point things out to you, kind of point you in the right directions. tell you things that you would never otherwise know. Just getting insight. That's the biggest ace card that we have. With having someone like that on my team.
Yeah, I know. Pam Richards is on my team. She's a sensitive, and the cool thing about her is she just don't rely on her abilities or gift. She uses a lot of different equipment too. Because I've had some bad experience with a sensitive medium. She didn't want to use no equipment. She just kind of wanted to be the center of attention and kind of turned me off of using sensitives until I met Rich and them and worked with Desiree Page, and that kind of made me less skeptic again. So, but what got you into the paranormal, Gary?
Actually, a phone call from my mom is what got me into the paranormal. My wife knew that she wanted to get into a paranormal group. She wanted to do it on the science side. She didn't want anyone to know that she was even sensitive. So, me being the loving and supportive husband that I am, I said, you go have fun, and I'll go ahead and have fun hunting your ghosties, and I'll stay home and watch the kids for you. So, about 3 weeks later, my mom calls out of the blue, and she said, I had a dream about Virginia, that I don't know who Virginia is hanging out with, or what she's getting into, or what, because I had not told her that she was joining a paranormal team. She said, I don't know what she's getting into or what she's getting involved in, but for some reason you need to be there to protect her. And whoa, did that hit home. I mean, that was like, that was an eye-opening for me. And ever since then, I've been by her side.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that your mom, she didn't even know what she was up to, and she just calls you out of the blue.
His mom is fairly sensitive too, but yeah, it's one of those things we just don't talk about.
She's still in the closet about it.
Yeah.
Everyone gets things their own way. Some people get like Virginia says, they're empathic. They have the feelings. I mean, everybody has abilities. You ever walk in somebody's home and the husband and wife just got done arguing, or a boyfriend and girlfriend just got done arguing, and they don't want to argue in front of you, and you walk in there and you can just feel the tension, something's up. I mean, everybody has sensitivities.
Yeah,
everyone has gut feelings, intuition.
Yep, I've talked with people about that. I feel that everybody has the ability. It depends if you open yourself up to it enough.
Exactly.
Because everyone has that.
Work that muscle or it won't grow.
Yeah, and I people think, oh, only certain people have the gift. I don't think it's that they have the gift. It's they've opened themselves up to it. But I actually had a question for you, but for some reason, my other laptop here just shut down. Isn't it great? Technology. It's like crazy. But I'll get back to that question. We'll talk about, you guys are the founders of Fire and Ice Paranormal Investigators. Can you tell us about your team and why did you start your own team?
Well, we've been with a good group called Florida Paranormal Research. They're strictly a science-based team. They're very good at what they do. They go in and they give the client exactly what they're looking for, is validation and scientific evidence of paranormal activity. And, well, basically, on a case,
well, what happened was anything that needed additional services, additional life coaching, I was doing on my own, not part of FPR, just on my own to get people through what they were going through. We got called into a case up in Cocoa Beach.
That's near me.
This was last year, and there had already been 2 teams into this location. This one particular team is supposed to be all mediums. Went into this home, told this homeowner that the entity that was in her house was negative and there was nothing they could do to fix it and she would just have to move. That was the weekend prior to us getting there. when I got to this case the following weekend, I had took my mentor, and we both walked into this place, and it was a whole different ball field. There was 3 children in this home. One happened to be the age of between 3 and 4. There was a teenager and another child between the ages of 9 and 10 who had been going through being sexually abused by an uncle.
Oh, jeez.
So here we have mediums who claim to be mediums walking into a home, telling a mother that the energy in the home is a negative energy.
They have to move.
And they have to move. And had we not gone into that case and actually identified with the mom, who, by the way, had a suspicion but wasn't sure, after we left, confirmed it with the kids, the man's in jail now. So here, this could have still gone on.
Yeah. I mean, they would have moved, but the uncle still would have been there.
Once walking into that case and coming home and literally, you know, I have to say, out of all the cases I've done, that was the most overwhelming, emotional, you know, crying up there, getting home, we had a meeting.
We had a meeting that night with FPR, and she pulled me out of the meeting and said that we need to have a little chat. She said, we need to start our own group to help people. Because like I said, most teams out there, nothing against teams. I don't get into bashing teams. I don't get into the drama and all that stuff. Most teams are able to validate or verify that there's things going on there, that people are crazy.
Yeah.
You know, scientifically, stuff like that. Well, then what? You know, that's when...
They keep going back.
Right, they keep going back and
fixed.
investigating, and sometimes negatively provoking, and people don't realize that the clients still have to live in the home when you're going there and negatively provoking. So, you know, then what? So we wanted to start a team where we could actually go in there and help families. This is all about helping clients. This is all this is about. It isn't about notoriety. It isn't about he does this, she does this, that. I don't care. None of that matters to me. It's about helping the client. That's why we're in this.
And had we not gone into that case and told that mom what was going on, that 3-year-old child would still be going through it right now.
Yeah, they would have moved, but the uncle still would have been there.
Bingo.
Right.
You
Still
know?
would have been there.
See, that's awesome to hear, because I'm the same way. I don't care if I do 10 cases in a month. I'd rather just do one case and help somebody out the right way, you know, like you guys are saying. It's all about the client. I don't care if I don't do 100 cases, or as long as I do, if I do 10 cases in a year and I know each case I did it right and helped the family out, I'm happy with it, you know.
There's cases that we've been working on for going on 4 years now, and it's about and every case is different. When you go there, the advantage of having
It's
a
not
medium
always
there,
paranormal.
yeah, it's not all paranormal. A lot of some of it's self-explanatory with you know, high EMFs, maybe 100 milligauss at the head of the baby's bed, and no wonder they can't sleep in there. You know, so a lot of it is explainable, but you know, bottom line, it's about helping the client, and a lot of it's teaching people how. Some people we meet, yeah, there may be activity going there, but they don't realize that they're somewhat sensitive. So we give them a choice.
Well, that they're the cause of it. That was one case we had.
You know, that you now have a choice. You either learn how to deal with and grow with your abilities that you have, or we teach you how to shut it off.
Well, that's cool.
So it's about life. It's about coaching people and talking to them and following up with them, you know, month after month. So it's just not the one and done type investigation. We go there, we talk to people. We're on the phone 6-7 days a week, talking to clients, see how they're doing, making sure they're doing what they said they would do. It's bottom line. It's about the client. It's not about he said, she said, and pointing fingers and competition. We don't get into that. That's not who we are.
That's awesome. That's a big reason why Rich had sent me. I've heard a lot of people have given you a lot of high praises, and that's why Rich was the last person, because he had just investigated with you guys, and he was talking to me and said, "Man, you should get them on the show." And I go, "That's so funny. I was just thinking of trying to, you know, talk with you guys, because I was supposed to come out a couple times when you guys were there. Like, I think, did you guys go to the St. Augustine with Roy and Denise?
We were supposed to, but because of things that were going on our home front, we had to make a choice. So we felt it was better to stay at home and deal with our family.
Okay, I didn't know if I missed you guys there because I was supposed to be there too.
Money was tight.
Money was tight.
But there was some things going on with the family, so we stayed here.
Yeah, that's the same way with me. My wife's aunt had passed away in Buffalo, and she had to fly up there. And I've got 4 kids and a foster daughter, so it's like I can't go nowhere unless you want me to bring all the kids.
No, we love Roy and Denise. If there was a way that we could have gotten up there, we'd have been there. We've worked numerous cases with Roy and Denise at Southeast Florida, and we've worked now with Rich Valdez and PCA with Des and Tammy. Great group of people. They're actually almost a mirror image of what we are. It's nice to actually have a team that's on the same levels as we are when it comes to helping the client. And heck, a lot of these teams out here we've worked with, I don't think there's too many that we haven't.
See, that's awesome. I know I was joking with Rich last week. We went and we just finished residential up in Vero Beach here, and we went over evidence with him and talked with him and had some closure, and not closure, but confirmation for the wife. She had been hearing a lot of bang noises and that when the husband wasn't there, and he was kind of joking with her going, oh, I think she's just hearing stuff. And we actually caught some different noises there when we weren't in the room, and when I played them for her, she was like, that's what I'm hearing when I'm sitting here, when everybody's out of the house, when it's completely silent. So she's like, goes to her husband, she's like, see, I'm not crazy. He's like, okay, if that's what you're hearing. And I was like, I can't say it's paranormal, but something was making a weird bang noise, like almost like furniture moving. But she was just happy that it was the noise she's heard and her husband could hear. So he didn't think she was crazy anymore.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. But we actually have a question from the room.
Sure.
Astronomy lover girl wants to know for Red, was she scared when she first found out about her ability?
According to my mother, this is something I don't even remember, but she does. It came before the age of 4. She said there was a time when I was around between 2 and 3 where she said a couple months she would end up fighting me behind the back of her chair, almost crying and telling her that I was afraid to sleep in my room because the people kept coming.
What kind of people were you seeing? Just regular people?
I honestly don't know. She just said that's what I used to tell her. Now, between the ages of 4 and 5, it was, I remember all of that. I remember the first one I do distinctly remember was the woman sitting in our front room that I was talking to because I thought this woman was no different than you and I sitting here talking. And I even asked my mom, I said, well, don't you see her? No. Oh, well, what's your name? I told my mom her name. And her mouth just dropped. So, honestly, for any child, that is the scariest thing because you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know who you're talking to. You have people showing up, you don't know who they are.
My 7-year-old's like that. He's sensitive. He sees things. So I don't usually tell my kids stuff from cases and that because I don't want to get it in their head. Unless they ask something what I'm up to, I might give them, not the details, but tell them, we're just using this equipment, different stuff like that. But my 7-year-old sees a lot of things. The one night I was coming home from work and my wife calls me and she's like, Carter's in the front room and he said there's gray people outside. And I'm like, is there really people out there? And she's like, no, I can't see nothing. She said there's gray people and they're coming towards the house, coming in, and he's freaking out. And I was like, well, just say a prayer in that and just take him. Don't let him stand there looking out at him. Don't let him communicate with him right now. Because I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
And he sees that. He sees little balls of light. The one night he was crying in his room, I came in and he's like, there's all these little balls of light around his head. And, me, I can't see it. And I'm like, so I just say, you weren't invited into our home. Please move on. You're not welcomed here. We didn't invite you in. He doesn't want any contact with you. So I know Pam on my team has actually said she can feel off him that his energy, that he's sensitive in that way.
Just make sure you protect yourself.
Yes.
Anytime you go, before you go in and after you leave, you don't want to bring it home.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
part of the things that most of our cases actually have referrals from other teams. I would say 90, 80, 90%.
Lately, it's been about 80-90%.
It's referrals from other teams of people that they don't care what's in there; they just want it gone. There's several different techniques that we'll use. A lot of it's based on their belief system, but we really don't know until we get there of which route we're really going to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, when we make contact with the client on the phone, us on the sensitive mediumship side, they give us signs, symbols, guidance, knowledge, but until you actually step foot onto the property, you don't know what the game plan's going to be.
Yeah, you don't know what
now,
you're
when
dealing
it comes to kids, you have to be very, very careful with kids, especially with ones that are the age that you have. For one, they need to make sure that the parents have their back, no matter what they say, because they need that forefront. Also, you need to sit down with them and make sure they know that as long as they don't invite them in, then you guys can keep that barrier up. Once the invite has been put out there, that's a different story.
Yeah, no, he hasn't
And
talked with
that's
any
one
of them.
thing that most people don't know. If you invite a spirit into your home, it's very, I wouldn't say it's...
You can do it unknowingly.
Yeah, you can do it unknowingly, thinking that it's one person and finding out it's not. But just be very, very careful with that, because they use, energy. I use energy because I just don't do the whole demonic thing, but negative energy will use a child in a manner that we wouldn't even think of.
Especially if you have a soft spot for children, it'll either manifest or
Present itself as a child.
Portray itself as a child, because maybe you have a soft spot for children, and now you just invited it in.
Yeah.
Or if you have a soft spot for the elderly, you just really like helping old people and things like that, and it will come across as an elderly person, and now you just let it in. So a lot of people don't realize what.
And we haven't had too many cases like that, which is good. But on your end of it, just make sure you keep reiterating with your kids that they can say whether or not they can, if something's in the house, he can tell it to leave.
Yeah, that's what we do tell them.
And be
actually.
firm with it.
That's what we actually told him. If it's bothering you, just tell it, leave. I don't want you here. You have the right to tell it that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been pretty. This was a while back, and we actually had Pam and a friend of her, Bob, came out and cleansed our house for us, because we had some stuff going on here. It was more my wife, because we used to go to the cemetery quite a bit, because our first daughter passed away of heart disease, and Pam and them thought they were attaching to my wife coming to the house, because she's very emotional at the cemetery and opening herself. She wants to fix all the other kids in the Garden of Angels section.
Yeah.
And she's so open there, not meaning to.
There's a likeness which makes her an easy attachment.
Yes, and that's what they were saying. And they weren't saying that we had anything demonic or negative. It was just some things here we didn't want here.
Yeah.
And they were more bothering her because my wife was more open, seeing things than me. And I felt bad for her, but now the house has been pretty quiet lately. So I'm kind of, it's like, yay.
We like quiet houses.
I try to explain it like this, for somebody who's not sensitive. If you ever come across somebody, the first time you ever meet them, you just really hit it off. Seems like you've known them for years. You laugh at each other, you joke around. I mean, you really get along with them. And then other times you meet somebody the first time and you look at him, you're like, that he's a jerk or he's a butthead or whatever. You just don't. Doesn't it make sense that if spirits are the same way, there's different types of energies, there's different types of spirits? Don't you think that that's the same thing? So how do you know that a spirit would like me and follow me home, but wouldn't like her because of our personalities? So that's how I explain it.
Just be careful. That's the key.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Or you'll be getting a call from us.
They'll be calling us.
Yeah. Now, since you were just saying, Gary, about personalities between the two of you, Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it sounded got quiet all of a sudden. Your personalities, I was told, the sign language. I was told when Virginia goes into a house to do like a psychic sweep, you can't be in there with her. Is that
Well,
true?
We can't investigate. When we go investigate, like basically, I kind of call it what I've been calling lately, field trips.
Our field trips.
That's a field trip. Going to we just did 3 weeks ago. We was with the FPR doing their ongoing investigation in Lehigh, and last night we were with Team Phenomenon over in Miami. Those are kind of field trips. Those are going out and kind of tweaking out, investigations.
But no, we cannot go together. To answer the question, no, we cannot go together on sweeps. Reason being, Gary he's a Marine. Okay.
I'm a former Marine. I'm a former
cop.
Everything I've done in my life
is
has been protecting, and I would give my life for my wife and my family.
So when we walk into a place, it is nothing but a barrier, and nothing can communicate.
Nothing comes around her. I block everything when I'm around her. So when we try to do investigations, that's one thing. We can't do sweeps together. However, when we go do a blessing or a clearing or a cleansing on a home,
oh, he's by my side.
I won't let her go in by her without me, because it takes two. It takes a grounder and a cleanser to do it, and most of the time it takes 3, 4.
Depends.
4 people, depending on the location, how many floors it has, how big it is, if it's on the property, if it's the house, if it's the people, it really depends. But for field trips, we can't investigate together. But when we actually do what we do, that's when I'm by her side and I won't let her in without me.
So that's awesome. Because the reason I asked you was, which actually Rich Valdez from Paranormal Consulting Agency to let you know it was an honor doing an investigation with you. You guys are awesome.
Well, that's awesome. They're a good team.
All I can say is unicorns and butterflies.
I guess that's an inside thing there. I don't know what that means.
He knows what I'm talking about. Fluffy bunnies, unicorns, I think. That's what it was.
I gotta let everyone know too, if you got questions, just post them in the chat room. My moderator had to leave. She had some things going on with her kids. So I will try and keep up in the chat room. So leave the questions in there, and I'll try and get them to Gary and Virginia.
Now, I did see John. I had a question in there regarding how we knew it was the uncle at the Cocoa Beach case.
Okay.
That was way earlier.
No, that's okay.
When I did this case in Cocoa Beach, I went with my mentor, who has pretty much been my guide through thick and thin, heaven and hell. Okay.
That wasn't the first one. Alan was
my first, but Stuart has been there.
He's been there for several years.
Yeah, and we generally do cases with other teams together. He gets called in, I generally go, or I get called in, he generally goes.
They get called in on the tough ones.
And both of us went in we both went in together, but we're both at opposite ends of the place, end up meeting up in the middle. We both walked outside, and we see things the same. It's like we're in sync with each other. Which is how it works when you have people who are medium sensitives. Once you have that energy combined, it becomes stronger. We have guides. Our guides give us information. We have spirit that gives us information. If there is a guide or protector with the child, they give us information. All the signs that were going on in this home was not negative. It was signs for the parents to pay attention. Everything. Even the daughter had told the mom, when the mom had asked her how many spirits were here, she said, there's 3. And she said, there's 3. She said, yeah. She says, there's 2 good spirits and 1 mean one. She was referring to her mom and dad being the good and the brother-in-law being the mean one.
Huh.
People have to realize that this isn't, when we deal with clients, it's numerous conversations on the phone, hundreds of hours of talking, several trips to the location. Isn't just waving a wand and they're gone. It doesn't work like that. it's about follow up and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing everything that we ask them to do, and follow up. That's the biggest thing, is follow up with them and make sure they're doing it.
That's a good thing, because I know I've heard.
Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Sorry, I had to do that.
I've seen the Mountain Dew there. So I know, I don't name drop or anything, but I know I've heard through the grapevine there are teams out there that don't do follow-ups. They just kind of do it, get some evidence, and then they're gone. And you got
they say,
families
wham,
there.
bam, thank you, ma'am.
And that's when we usually get called.
And I think that's awesome that, when someone calls you and you're referred by people, I think that's the best compliment when you're being referred by other teams or other people, because they have such good, so much confidence in you. I think that's the best compliment you can get from people, when you're referred to go in and try and help people.
The people that work with us know that we're some of the most down to earth, real people. We honestly care. We're genuine. We care about the people that we work with, and we do a good job. We won't take on a case unless we know we can.
We won't leave until we get our point across.
Exactly.
I think the last one, the one that Rich went with us, we got there at like 5:30. We didn't leave till 11:30.
Just so you know, Rich, the one up in Port Richey is starting to come around, and they're doing what they need to do, and we've actually started the second step with them. The husband and wife is sleeping together, and the kids are now sleeping in their own rooms, and they're starting to get some normalcy back. She's starting to realize that she does have a gift, and she's starting to
like it,
and meditate, and they are starting to come around. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up, a little briefing on that case, Rich.
See, that's awesome.
Sorry, Bob.
No. Hey, you're my guest. You can say whatever you want, and if you want to give shout-outs like that and let people, you're giving someone information, and I think that's awesome. Because I know that's one thing. I talk with Rich a lot, that they have problems when you do investigation. You try and help people as much as you can, but if they don't listen to what you're trying to help them with, there's nothing you can do for the family, really. Once it gets to a certain point, they just keep doing the same thing over and over. When you tell them, don't do this. And that's got to be hard on your end when you're trying your hardest to give them directions or good information, and they just don't take it.
Well, we won't, this one particular case was actually the toughest one we did, was the one in Newport. Because, you were talking earlier about the me, I thing. With the sensitives.
It took a while to get through to her.
It took a while to get through to her that it wasn't just about her. It was about the children. It was about the husband. It was about the family as a whole.
Trying to bring unity back.
Yeah, because there's a huge gap.
They were sleeping in different rooms. They were on different. One would stay up all night as like on watch for the other one. It was pretty bad when we got there.
But now things have done a complete 360.
Yes, things are turning around with that one.
And I like that.
Yeah, that's very
It's
cool.
a good thing. But it's I have to throw this out there, because I know a lot of my team is out there, and this needs to really be put out there. We are the founders, yes. We started this group, yes. But if it wasn't for our team, we wouldn't be who we are. We back our team, and our team backs us.
Good team.
Our team is tight-knit. It's like a family. That's the way we like things. There's no rift. There's no drama. There's no BS. If you can't trust your members, then you shouldn't have them on your team. Bottom line. And we would not only give to our members, but I know our members would do the same for us.
Yeah, I got the same situation with my team. Even though I'm the founder, I don't act like that. I trust my team members enough. They're calling when we're not doing residential, if we're looking to get into commercial locations, I trust them enough to represent us in a professional manner, because they're like, do you mind if I talk to these people? I'm like, no, just get back with me so we can get a date if they want us to come in and investigate when it's a commercial location. Now, for residential, if people need us to come whenever they need us, and we can get the team together, where we just go on a whim. But when it's a commercial location, I have so much trust in all of my team and residential. The best thing you'd have, I said last week, when a person has sent an email in, when you're starting your own team, what do you look for in team members? And I said, you don't always have to look, the person don't have to have years and years of experience. It would be nice, but you just got to feel them out. Make sure they're not doing this because they want to try and get on TV or be the next ghost hunters. They're doing it because they have a passion for the paranormal field and to help people, you know?
Right.
And everybody in our group, I mean, we've all got functions.
And every one of them have
It's a beautiful thing.
their own thing that they bring to the table. We use a lot of different techniques. I'm ordained, she's ordained, so we can use Christian techniques. We use a lot of Native American techniques. So it really depends.
We've got people learning about Buddhism religions,
Right.
Kabbalah. I
Wicca.
mean, everybody on our team has got something. We've got techs on our team. We've got mediums on our team.
Actually,
We have people.
Every one of our members are sensitive.
Yeah, we
Every
have. That's the beauty of it. There was a couple that were kind of iffy on it in the beginning, and now it's like, woohoo, here we are.
That's awesome.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's
We've got an awesome team, and I love our members.
See, that's great though that you can. They're like a family, another family to you, you know. So I think that's great. That's the best thing. I mean, I've been on different teams before, and everyone always preaches it's family, but I don't know. It just never. You get that vibe. Certain people felt like family, then some people didn't. And right now, the team I have now, it just feels like a family atmosphere, which is great. And I think
It is. It's an awesome feeling.
And I think that's what I think. I mean, you don't have to be the perfect family situation feeling for a team, but I think that helps unite you when you go into an investigation. You're all on the same page. Your energy's all working together. When you have a lot of negativity, one person doesn't like the other person what they said. I think that really hurts your investigating. You know.
Right. You can't have if we have
You can't
people
have
are
a problem.
negative or they have bringing in issues from home, things like that. I won't let them investigate.
We can't, because once you have, with doing what we do, you literally have to clear your mind of everything that's going on the home front. You have to keep it separate. You can't bring home into this, and you can't bring this into
How
home.
can you go do a clearing or a cleansing or a blessing on a place when you're bringing baggage yourself?
Yeah, I feel the same way.
You can't.
And that's why when you have more of a team that's on the same page or just like each other, it sure helps, especially when you guys are doing cleansing.
Yeah. But the people that are on our team were also with FPR. They wanted to go in the same direction we were. They wanted to be there to do this for people. Now, there was a question in there as far as what techniques we use for cleansing.
It depends.
It depends on the type of energy that's in the home. It depends on the belief system of the individual that we're doing the
What
home.
spirits are there? What if it's an attachment? If it's on the property and it has nothing to do with the house or the people there. If it's with the house of somebody that lived there previous to that.
It's literally by guidance. I don't know until we get there, and half of it is like a combination of multiple things in order to make it work.
So it's pretty much based on case by case, really. There's
Yeah,
not really,
it is.
Every
It's
case is
not,
different.
it's not something you can plan. You can plan to have the supplies you need, the physical supplies, but as far as energy-wise, which, Rich can testify to that, there's, when we did Newport, we didn't know we were going to be doing energy work on an individual. It's just something that you don't find out until you literally get there.
You can pick up some stuff on the talking to them on the phone, but you don't know if you're picking up the person sitting next to them or the person that lives across the street from them. You don't know until you're actually there in the property, and you're able to pick up on a lot more things. You can fine tune the stuff you're getting.
Jump. So that was a wave of surprise.
Now, I know earlier you sent me some EVPs over and some pictures. What would you want to go over first? It's your choice.
Doesn't matter. They're all good.
Are you guys you guys okay too? I don't know if you knew. On my show, I don't take breaks. I just keep going. Is that cool with you guys?
Hey, we're smoking. I'm letting you know right now.
Well,
Look,
I
there's
see you
nobody
doing that.
PH-18 in there.
I always joke around with Tim Yancey and all them saying, I'm not a smoker, so I don't need to take a break. You know what? We could start with the pictures first.
Some of these pictures were actually taken before we were...
We got to get into the story behind the pictures. My husband, okay, God love him, takes so many photos, okay. I think the last one was SS American where you took 2,000 photos.
No, Seven Sisters.
Seven Sisters, it was 2,000 photos.
Just myself.
But
I take photos of everything, everything.
But he takes the photos and he doesn't pull them off and look at them. So we went this.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what you do. Okay, you sent him the Ortona ones, right?
I sent him Ringling. I sent him Alba Cemetery.
Yeah, these are all pictures he did not find.
I'm going through. Victory.
I'm going through before an investigation. Now, mind you, these are like not major investigations; they're more like field trips.
I sent him Ted Smallwood.
That was a good one.
He sent me. I'm
going through clearing the cards, right? And I'm noticing there's pictures on the cards. They should not be on our cards. And I'm going through all these photos, and there's all kinds of little anomalies in here. And I'm going up to him, okay, honey, did you know this was on there?
She's got a good eye. There ain't nothing wrong with my eyes. Just my arms ain't long enough now.
So, majority of the photos he sent you are ones that he took pictures of, but didn't realize what he took pictures of till like a month later.
Well, now the pictures he sent over, there were 6 of them, but I was only able to get 4 of them up because my computer, for some reason, isn't set up to unzip things. I have to do it through my laptop, and for some reason, when I sent them from my laptop to my main computer, 2 of them didn't come through. The first one I was going to put, it was labeled BLU1.
Ah, that was taken by a guy by the name of Blue, and that was the
Ringling
College of Art and Design that we did back in '07. The photograph was taken on a tripod with a 30-second extended exposure with a red filter on the front of it. On the bottom right of that, you'll see a tables and chairs. And on the back side of that table, you tell me how many spirits you can see on there.
Looks like 2 to the left there walking. And
there's 2 all on the right-hand side. You see the table and chairs. On the other side of the table and chairs, see what you see there.
Oh, my picture's kind of small, but I see it now. What are the two colored marks to the left?
That's just light coming through. It's using a red filter, a red IR filter. So that's actually heat signatures.
Rusty said he sees 7.
Yeah, there's 7 in there.
I have to tell you, I'll admit on air, I'm colorblind. I see colors a different way. I don't see black and white. I just see colors a different way than other people. And looking at this picture, I can see some of the energy, but a lot of it mixes together for me. So people don't make fun of me in the chat room, please. But
if you look to the right-hand side, you'll see the table.
You'll see some. You'll see, even though you're colorblind, you'll still see this. You'll see the outlines.
There's actually one smiling, looking right at him when he took the photo.
I can see the outlines.
Yes.
It almost. I see there are a lot of. I see the smiley, like this, like smiling. Right. It's like a mirror behind it. Then, on the wall.
Yep, and there was nobody in that room. We had all actually went into the conference room to discuss the investigation we were going to do when he took that photo.
Yeah, Michelle from the old Gilchrist jail said she sees 7 too now.
Yeah, that was taken by a man by the name of Blue. He used to be with FPR. I don't know what. I think he's back in England now.
Well, did he took the next picture you sent me? It's BLU again too.
It was red, yes. That was taken down in the old. The next picture was in the Fayhaven.
It was in
It
the
used to be in the Bayhaven Hotel back in the early 1900s.
which is now the dormitory.
Which is now the dormitory. It was taken on a 30-second delayed, an open exposure, open aperture, with the same filter on there. At the end of it, you can actually see the head and the torso with no legs.
Yeah, I can definitely see the head and the all the way to the. You can actually see the legs too. They're real faint.
That was on the second floor.
That was up on, second floor. And his back was actually to where they call the Mary stairwell, which somebody, we're not sure if it was Mary or not. I don't like to pre-feed. That's one thing we don't do when we, as a group. When I'm doing my prelim talking to people, I don't like to give my sensitives any information at all. Me, I want to know as much as I can. And when we get there, they tell me where the hot spots are, where I think I should put my cameras to try to the best opportunity to capture something scientific.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I want to know everything possible when we get in there. And I try and keep anyone that's sensitive or wants to do a psychic sweep, I try and keep as little information from them. So then, I don't know, it makes me feel better. So they do get stuff, I know they went in there pretty much clean.
There was no flash on this camera. On the top there, you can see the lights from the dome down the hallway.
Yeah.
There was no flash. It was just a extended exposure. So it allowed us to capture as much light coming out of there because it was kind of dark.
Fluorescent lighting?
It was fluorescent lighting down the hallway.
That's a very cool picture like that. Now the next one, there really wasn't. It was just DES, I think it started with. Let me bring it up.
I have to see it.
It's a cemetery, and there's like a light to the right.
That one.
Hopefully you've got the right one.
Because the next two, I think, are cemeteries.
Okay, these are actually in Ortona. Nobody's seen these yet.
No, this is not. This is Buckingham.
This is Ortona.
That is?
That's in Ortona. On the right-hand side was this is Ortona. This is when I was out there with Roy and Denise from Southeast Florida Paranormal. I'd taken this picture out there, and everybody knows that I take pictures like crazy. Out there, taking pictures, on the right-hand side, you see that glow. Well, if you're able to zoom in on it, what it looks to me is like it's a house burning. There's a burning house back there. That's where that glow is coming from. There are no houses in this cemetery whatsoever.
Yeah,
I actually got that on several different pictures.
Yeah, that's like out in no man's land, right?
Yeah, that's in no man's land. The property next to it is the burial mounds. The property behind it is the state park. There's no houses anywhere.
This is the one that's on the other side of past Clewiston, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next one I have, I'm not sure what it is. It just had numbers. Let me bring it up, and you can let people. Okay, that's not. That's you guys. Yay! You know what happened? I only got 3 of them. Then I was having problems trying to get these pictures up. Sorry about that. What's paranormal? Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
Now that is paranormal. I'm telling you.
That's what I was going to say. When I looked at it,
George did that one from Team Phenomenon. He made that picture for us.
That's a really. I like that design.
Through one of his secret locations.
That banging noise is not paranormal. It's just my doors opening behind me here. Now the EVPs you sent over, I got all 3 of them. We'll do
okay,
one.
Good.
We'll do
the
one.
First one, tell me which ones they are first before you play them.
The first one is, I put them in the order you sent was Bye Bye.
Yes, this was actually a private residence, and this was where 2 of my members, David Titi, actually went there, and he was actually telling us whatever he said, whatever you can't stay here, you're not welcome here. And right after that is when he got this EVP.
Alright, you ready? Make sure I got it keyed up here right. I have my issues. Alright, here we go. Try it again. I'll turn it up just a little bit. at the end there.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. Let me play it one more time for everybody just to make sure they got it. I don't mean to block you out, Virginia.
But that's okay. I was hyped.
That's awesome. I mean, that's clear in the back. Now, when you do these EVPs, what kind of program do you guys use?
We don't.
What do you mean program? We're analyzing it?
Yeah. Do you...
Windows Media Player.
No. I use Adobe Audition or Reaper.
I use Windows Media Player.
They use Media Player to play it, and then when they find something, they bring it to me, and I use Adobe Audition or Reaper.
Because you clean it up a little, right? Because I know a lot of... Do you use the different effects in that to clean it up a little?
Nope.
No, we
unedited.
Unedited whatsoever. All I did was I highlighted what I wanted to save, and I right-click Save Selection As, and I sent it to you. It's not been edited at all.
Now here's a question. I try and clean them up a little bit. I don't try and do it too much because I'm afraid sometimes you tweak it too much to where you're almost trying to get it to where you do hear something. A lot of people, when they clean it up, sometimes when you hear it, it almost sounds like a robot voice.
Exactly.
And I think to myself, how do you know you didn't manipulate it enough to when you finally got something? That's my skeptic side on me. Because sometimes I've gotten some pretty good EVPs, but I had to clean it up enough to get something, and I'm like, how can I really say that's evidence? I've messed with it so much, how do I know I didn't manipulate it to make sure I heard something? You know what I mean?
That's why we don't even present anything unless it's between a Class A, Class B EVP.
Yeah.
That we don't have to edit. It's everything that we have is unedited.
The last one, actually, Class A, one of the best ones I've ever heard. We'll get to that one third. The next one is in Ortona. That was you were asking a question. You and Dave.
Oh, we were with Roy.
Right.
Okay. No, we were talking about something totally off the subject. We were talking about somebody in Roy's family.
You know, one thing about EVPs that we found actually were more successful. You know, some people get in there and they don't know when to shut up. In other words, they keep on talking and they keep on talking and they're talking right over the EVPs. When you ask a question, wait 10 seconds. Because they're not on the same timeline as we are. Give them a little bit of time to talk, because you'll end up talking right over top of the EVPs at half the things you're capturing.
Yep.
Also, instead of just asking, what is your name, when did you die, you know, all the standard questions.
We get most of our EVPs just having a BS conversation about food.
What we had for dinner, and what, you know, if you ever went skateboarding, and what you see the movies like, you're giving them the ability to join in on the conversation. And we actually capture more EVPs that way. With her playing with little stuffed animals and toys and balls and stuff, she gets more stuff. It's absolutely amazing.
You'll have to send that video over, Gary, of her playing with the stuffed animals and everything. We'll put it on YouTube.
She has over 500.
See, that's the thing, the way you were saying, I do that sometimes too. We'll just have a regular conversation with a team member, and then I'll even say, you know, hey, you see, we're just friendly. We're having a friendly conversation. If you want to join in, you know, say whatever you want. You don't have to answer questions all the time.
We don't even do that. They join in.
That's cool.
They'll join in the conversation with you.
All right, this is the next one where you said you were talking and you get a response here.
Yeah,
it was me, Philly, Dave, and Roy from Southeast Florida on this one.
You ready? Oh, by the way, before I play it, it's 10:32. Are you still cool to hang out for a little bit?
Heck yeah.
Okay,
cool.
Go to bed till
1 2.
All right, you ready?
That's a couple nights back.
All right, we'll play it again.
That's a couple nights back.
You hear what said no?
Yeah, you hear it clear as day at the end. It's no.
That's a couple nights back.
And you were just having a conversation with Roy?
Yeah, we were talking about his son Anthony, who I've done some work with on the sensitive side, and we were talking about things that he was experiencing. We were talking about family members and how it goes down the line, and that's when that came in. Totally off subject.
This next one was also in Ortona, and on the suite it was just Philly Dave and TT, his wife. So it was just a husband and wife, and they're sitting out there, sitting off in the cemetery by themselves. And David,
it was when it was really clear.
Yes, David looked. It was crystal clear out that night, and out there in Ortona, there's not too many lights, so the stars are like just amazing out there. And he looks up in the sky and says, "Look at all the beautiful stars." And right before that is when you'll hear that EVP. It's pretty amazing.
All right, let me get it put up here quick. Hold on. I pressed the wrong button. Are you ready? All right, listen to this. This is really cool.
Absolutely beautiful, Tina. Look at all the stars.
You know, when you first sent this over, I was like, I thought it sounds like someone's right there with you talking, like it was another team member.
There's Dave and TT, one man, one woman, and that's it. Nobody else around.
All right, we'll play it again here.
Absolutely beautiful, Tina. Look at all the stars.
He says, "Look at all the beautiful people."
We'll try it. We'll play it one more time.
Absolutely beautiful, Tina. Look at all the stars.
See, that's just cool. When you first sent it to me, I'm like, and because you titled it "Beautiful People," and I'm like, that's not someone there, because that's so clear.
No, it's not.
No.
I mean, it's just unbelievable how clear that was.
Absolutely beautiful people.
And we even have it on the video recorder too.
Yes.
It was
that's
a double.
One thing. We actually they had a video recorder out there too, and we were able to capture the same EVP on the video recorder as well.
See, that's awesome. I like to keep my video. I usually, if we break in two groups, if we're working with another team, I try and keep a Handycam video recorder with each team, because sometimes I don't say who they were. A team I used to work with, they thought after a case they'd send me an email saying I got 40 EVPs, and I'm like, really? And I'd start listening through them, and I would go over the time slot with my video, and I would notice the one lady would be turned away from the other one, and she'd be like, "It wasn't my sister saying it." And I'm like, "I got it on video. I can see her sister saying the words." But she goes, "It sounds hollow." And I'm like, "That doesn't matter. It's your back to her back. You're blocking her voice out. That's why it sounds different than your sister." And
right.
They would not believe me. I showed them the video. I go, "Look at your sister's saying it. My video mic is real sensitive, and I can hear her saying it." No, that's not her. Something must have been repeating her. And I'm like, that was driving me crazy when I was on that team, because that was a bunch of sensitive. Everyone was sensitive and medium on there. And like you were saying, Gary, about doing an EVP session, nobody be quiet. Everyone would be like, "I feel someone was stabbed here. I feel someone was choked. No, I feel like this." And I'd be like, "Why don't we just ask a question or just sit here quietly, see if we get something?"
Exactly.
It drove me crazy. But
see, and that's just it. We don't go around saying, "Ooh, I see this. Ooh, I feel that."
See, that's
oh,
just
I
it.
hear
My
this.
sensitives don't do that. When they get something, they write it down, or they come and they tell me. We don't tell the client what they're getting. I don't have one sensitive tell another one what they're getting. Everyone gets their own impressions. They write it down. Then after the investigation's over, I have all the comments that they made in my front left pocket, and then I go back with the evidence and the audio and the photos and things like that, and try to put the two and two together. Neither one of them pre-feeds anybody. I don't want them to know anything, and I don't want them talking to each other. I definitely don't want them talking to the client. It could freak the client out.
Yes.
Knowing that they think there's something there, and I get there and find out there's 6 things there.
Yep.
That's all we need is to freak them out.
See, that's funny you say that about you don't want your sensitive just blurting going around, especially with the clients there. The lady that's on my team, Pam, I usually tell her she doesn't usually say things because she don't want to be the center of attention. She uses her equipment she brings out. And I always tell her, if you feel something and I'm with her, just let me know so we get it on a recorder. So if we do get an EVP to something like you heard a name came to you or some message, we have something that's just not a story you saying, "I felt this." When we talk to other people, we have something to verify it or confirm it if we do get something, other evidence. And it's sometimes she don't want to tell you anything that's going on because she don't want to interrupt the EVP session and that. And I said, if the client's not there and you're feeling something, let me know so we get it recorded at the same time. So, but yeah, I think that's funny though. You don't want to blurt stuff out in front of the clients.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh, no.
Surprised, which I'm sure you've heard a few things from people.
Now I've seen it too. I've seen it when I was with Florida Ghost Team. I had team members. We do a location, a residential, and like you guys were saying, sometimes you do residentials, and it turns out there's nothing paranormal there. You kind of debunked everything, but you helped the family. And I had people tell me, man, what a waste of a night that was. And I'm like, why is it a waste? We just helped the family. Even though it wasn't paranormal, the family can sleep better now because they're like, oh, okay, they gave us some answers of stuff that we thought were paranormal. Because this one house we went in, they thought everything in the house was paranormal. They were showing me pictures. They showed me a picture and there's a shampoo bottle laying on the floor. And I'm like, what am I looking at? The shampoo bottle was sitting on the counter. When we came back in, it was laying on the floor. Something knocked it off, and I'm like, oh. I go, okay. Everything was paranormal in the house. And it was that was a crazy investigation. And a lot of it turned out to be, they had a lot of high EMF readings. They had these vaporizer.
Oh, gosh.
And they light up, too. They do those little lights that spin around on the ceiling. Holy smokes. They had one on each side of the bed where a lot of supposedly the activity was happening.
The humidifiers?
Yeah. And and they said they felt like they were being watched, they were paranoid, seeing shadows, and those things were given. We didn't even get close to them with our EMF meter, and they were off the chart.
So that wasn't Bradenton.
And, I didn't tell them that was the definite reason, but it was one answer we could give them, saying, if you maybe move these out of the room. But at the team I was on at the time, I didn't really get to do a lot of going back. That was the one thing. That's a big reason why I kind of went off on my own, too, where I could control going back, sitting there with clients, or like you guys do, calling and, talking with them.
Right, that's what it's about, follow-up. It's you want the client to be so happy with what you did that they ask you to come back.
Yeah.
I want...
we still have a barbecue to go to sometime in the next couple of months up in Palm Bay with the Coles.
Right.
That's my area.
I have a question. If we ever have the client investigate with us?
Never.
Never. Now, I want the client there because in a lot of stuff we do it. I preferably to do it in broad daylight. I would like to be at somebody's house at 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
There's a reason behind that, though. When you do clearings and cleansings and stuff like that, the last thing you want to do is get there at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night and do it. Because the later you get into the nighttime, the more power and energy it has because of the quietness. Therefore, it causes more energy for us to be able to have to clear that out.
The stronger, you've heard of the witching hour.
Yeah.
After midnight, things start going crazy. Well, why would we try to go there and clean something out of a house when they're at their strongest? We go there when they're at their weakest. So a lot of the stuff we'll do is
12, 1 o'clock in the
12,
afternoon?
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now,
of course, like I said, it depends on the location. There's times that, we like to go out there till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and capture stuff, trying to collect evidence. But when it comes to doing clearings and cleansings and blessings, that's done midday. Very seldom do we do it at night.
See, that's kind of cool to know because I know a lot of people do go. Well, I know so many people I know they go around dinner time, around 5, 6 to get it done. Because your energy could be a little lower later in the evening too. You've had a long day working, and just your normal stress life with family, kids. Your energy's not at its highest level as it is at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Especially you guys got kids, right?
Yes, we have kids.
How many kids?
We have 2.
Oh, you only have 2?
We have 6
well,
or 7.
Yeah, well, technically I have 6. Because Gary counts for 2. And then we have our 2. So that's 4. Actually, we have 7.
Yeah.
because then we have the 3 dogs. No, we got more than that because we have 2 cats. So yeah, we have quite a few kids.
Yeah, I can say that too. I got 2 dogs. I got 4 kids, a foster daughter, 2 dogs, a cat, 2 hamsters, a rabbit, 6 chickens.
Now, Michelle did have a comment in there about preferred methods or means for cleansings or
Cleansings
clearings.
and clearings are 2 different things.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you can't just walk in and become a cleanser and clear. It just doesn't work that way. I went through 6 years of training in order to get to where I am now. So it's not like you can just go out, grab a book, and boom, you can cleanse a house. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
It doesn't work like that?
Mostly.
I saw it on TV like that.
I wish it did, because then it would be easier. But, if you're not able to tap into the energy that's there at that place, and you do the wrong type of cleansing, it can make matters worse.
We got another question from Ghostbait Michelle. How do you get training?
You find a mentor. Go to, depending on where you're at. I mean, I went to a metaphysical store and found out they had classes for development. And this, Alan Arcieri took me under his wing because he saw me doing things other than just, classes. They will pinpoint where your strong points are, and they will put you in that direction.
There's also light workers and dark workers.
Yeah.
We work strictly in the light. Nothing negative. We don't negative provoke. We don't call things out. We're trying to settle the energy down in there instead of bringing it in trying to force it to come out or force it to get mad at you and show itself. We're trying to do the complete opposite. When we go and do a clearing or a cleansing or a blessing. Like I said, we just went to Miami last night, and we're in there talking and trying to get it to come out. So we do, that's why we're called Fire and Ice. We do both. We do the spiritual mediumship. We also do the science and technology. We combine them together. So yeah, we can do both.
Yeah, I don't provoke either. I don't see the point of going in there and start yelling and screaming. I feel you should show common courtesy just like you do to a living being. I don't see why people have to go in there and be all nasty right away.
But here's my thing: if you're going to go in, if people are going to go into a house and they're going to provoke, how are you going to cleanse that house from it happening to the homeowner when you leave?
Right, they still have to live there.
That's actually kind of disrespectful, if you ask me.
It's like you get all done. Okay, you have a good night.
Exactly.
Leave the house all riled up.
Piss it off, and I'll see you.
And all hell breaks loose.
Hey, it's kind of like what my uncle used to do when I was a kid. He'd get me and my brother all riled up to my parents, and then they would leave. Then me and my brother would be running all through the house at 11 o'clock at night, all wild.
Exactly. Or like when we go to the grandparents' house and they feed us sugar and take us back to our parents.
Yep.
Not that I've done that, but...
My parents have done that with my kids. They give them all these goodies and all happy, and my kids are all wound up, get home, and it's like, okay, bye. And I'm like, the heck, my kids didn't go to bed till like 11 o'clock at night. What's up? Oh, I don't know. What'd you give them? Well, we made chocolate brownies with chocolate frosting and all that. I'm like, yeah. Next time when I drop them off, I'm going to have them all wired for you.
Astronomy Lover had a thing in there, if you see someone provoking, what do? Do I say, or do I dismiss myself from the group? Everybody's different. Every group is different. If you don't feel the group, first I would always tell somebody, go to the founder. Maybe address the issue that you have with the provoking.
And some teams do that. They prefer to do that.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just disrespectful.
And
and if it's still not satisfying to you, and they're not, that goes back to your team backing its members. If they're not going to back you in any way as to your concerns, then it's time to find another team.
Yeah, and Michelle, what me, Gary, and Virginia are doing, this isn't like the gospel, the set in stone. It's just our opinions. Everyone does it different ways. We're not saying it's bad. It's just, it's not our method of investigating. If it's not your way of doing it, just like Virginia said, you need to move on. I'm telling you, there's a lot of teams out there. I know people that stay with a team and they gripe and complain, and I always say, why do you stay with them? Well, there's nobody else. Then start your own team, or do something.
Bingo. Start your own team.
Stop complaining.
It takes a bit to start a team, but you know what? If your heart's in it and it's in it for the right reasons, it'll happen.
Things will fall in place. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing you can do. Standing around
Provoking is actually calling something out or forcing something to reveal itself or communicate with you in a negative manner.
Like, push me. I dare you to hit me. Come on, you big...
Or use my energy.
Oh, big one.
Never, ever, ever ask anything to use your energy.
Unless you got somebody there that can fix it.
You just opened up the door to allow that to come in and take you over.
Yep.
And we've actually had to stop an investigation because that took place and had to go out there and help this young fella by...
Oh, God, I wasn't even prepared for that one. Didn't even see that one coming. But we were in an investigation, and someone had said, go ahead and take my energy if you need it. Well, it didn't happen then, but it happened about 15 minutes later, brought this kid to his knees, and I had to spend 45 minutes outside clearing him.
I did a case with Rich here back in the day in Melbourne, Florida, and we had to go there because they were doing an investigation in a cemetery near me here. And the lady said, if there's any spirits around me in a cemetery, I give you permission to walk with me and follow me. Well, guess what? They followed her right back to her apartment, and all this crazy stuff was going on. And I went there with Rich and a couple other people to help them because they had all this stuff going on. And then they had a team member. He was like maybe 22, 23, and he let you know he was a channeler. And the lady that was with us, she was sensitive medium. When he walked in the apartment, she was like, holy smokes. And Rich was like, what's up? Yeah, he's a channeler. He don't know how to close the door. He's got an army walking with him.
Do you know what a channeler does? A channeler allows a possession.
It's a
form of possession.
And if you're not able to control it, then you're not able to identify whether it's a positive energy you're tapping into or if it's a negative energy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this kid, when he walked in, he didn't know how to close the door once he channeled somebody. And she said he just had a whole boatload walking with him. And we actually told the lady that was having the problems that she needs to get someone that can help him because right now he's not helping your team. He's actually being more destructive, really.
Exactly. You're putting somebody else in harm's way as well.
Yes, that's what Rich and them were trying to tell this lady. And I don't want to give too much, but that was just a story I thought was odd. Why would you say that in a cemetery? I give you permission to walk with me and follow me. Yeah, well, guess what? They followed you right home.
No, we always say my team will not. I don't allow my team to go into a place until we say St. Michael's prayer, and we always pray right before we leave to make sure anything in there that's negative or evil intent or whatever cannot follow us home. And I'm big into. I believe in my God, and that's my strength. And I don't force it on my team. My team accepts it willingly. Because they know that everybody needs a tag team partner in the corner.
Yep.
And what better to have than the man upstairs?
And you know what? I tell my team members, we do a prayer before going into an investigation. It doesn't matter what faith you are. For that evening, we're all uniting together. We form a circle and we do a little prayer. And it doesn't matter what faith you are that night. We're all uniting as one to protect each other.
Exactly. You've got to have each other's back.
Because I had one. This was when I was with another team. I had one person like, "Well, I'm Catholic and I'm Presbyterian." And
doesn't matter.
That's what I said.
Christian.
And I said it doesn't matter. It just tonight we're all uniting as one, so we stay safe. And they were okay if that's what you think.
And Brandon made a good point. Every religion has a prayer of protection. Doesn't matter if you're Wiccan, pagan, Buddha,
it doesn't matter.
Kabbalah, Jewish, take your pick. Every religion has a protection prayer.
Yeah, and that's
shaman, Islamic, Christian. Every one of them has a. They may not call it a prayer, but it's a rite or ritual or a saying that you say to protect yourself from evil or whatever's out there.
It's some form of having their God that they believe in to protect them from negative energies, evil energies, and just because it's a different way of saying it or a different type of God of what they believe in, doesn't matter. You're all asking for the same thing, protection. Let's see.
Cindy, you shouldn't ask him to even walk with you.
Someone put a question there and several times.
Yeah, Cindy said that she asked him while investigating to walk with them. I don't even do that.
Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I'm always make sure of, that I'm close things when I leave and that I'm protected, because I don't want to bring stuff home to my family with the kids and everything.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't ever ask things to follow me or to, take my energy. Now, I've had a sensitive use my energy to help her out. She said I'm like a little battery. And she was trying to make contact. She was, can I use some energy off of you? And I was like, sure. And she put her hand over my hand, and it was the weirdest thing. She was just about this far away, and my hand got so hot. I was like amazed how it was doing with it. Not really, because I mean, if you put your hands together, you can get some warmth, but she wasn't touching me. And I thought that was kind of cool that night when she did that. But she said I'm like a little battery, the little what is it, energy bunny or the Energizer bunny?
Yes, Brandon, you are hearing crickets. We're actually sitting out on our lanai.
You know what? Someone said that at the beginning, and I thought they were, because I was trying to get stuff going, and I thought they were joking around, like, oh, I hear crickets because it was quiet. And then when I was talking with you, I was like, hey, I hear crickets too.
Yeah, we're sitting outside on our lanai.
Yes, all you people up north.
What Red does is she actually protects our team with white light.
Well, I'm Native American.
And so am I.
So a lot of mine has to do with white light wrappings. It has to do with my protection prayer that I do before we even leave for an investigation. And I do it for each and every individual that's going on our team. It usually takes about 45 minutes.
Did you see Brandon's comment in there? He's up in Chicago. If he heard crickets, they'd be all like little frozen crickets. See, I always mess with him because I'm like, I was talking with him, I told him the weather, I was out gardening today, moving stone around, and how nice it was. He's like, 12 degrees up there. Hey, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I think even though it's my own show, I think with Ustream I'm on a time schedule of 2-hour limit. So we are going to shut it down here in just a minute. It's been an awesome interview with you guys. Lots of awesome. My big thing about the show is I love to get people on here to share information, theories, ideas. And if just one person walks away from the show with some new idea or new outlook of investigating or looking at something, I think that's awesome. If one person learns something. And I think you guys brought a lot to the table tonight, just with your experiences and the information.
Yay.
Thank you very much. It was our pleasure being here. And give us a call. Let us know when you want us to come back. I've got more EVPs and more photos to show. And this time we'll talk about 2 days before the show. We'll get it right.
Yeah, sorry. That's one thing about this with having all the kids and running around and that. It gets a tight schedule trying to get to talk with people ahead of time. And then running, doing my own team and getting cases and residential, it's like crazy. Well, you guys know.
Now, I do want to share one piece of information.
People ask us to do our own show and things like that, but as busy as we are,
there's no way.
There's no way we could do it. So
Yeah,
we'll come on your show anytime you want us.
Hey, and you know what? When you said about EVPs before, I don't want to cut you off, Red. If you want to send some more over, I'm going to try and do this EVP segment, and I'll just give me a little information, and I'll name whoever got the EVP, the team, and everything. Okay?
Okay. Got it.
All right. Go ahead, Red.
But I have one little tidbit of information for the sensitive psychic mediums out there that are doing investigating. One thing you need to remember when you're investigating is that we are not chase spirits. And there's a reason. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I've had to educate a few people over the past couple weeks on this. When you start chasing spirits, you start using your own energy. Therefore, it drains you. Therefore, it makes it easier to attach to you. When you're doing an investigation and you have spirit come to you, they are using their energy, which means you are keeping your barrier up. So just remember that when you guys are investigating out there.
That's very awesome.
Let them come to you.
Very cool. That's awesome. That's awesome advice. Because I know there are people in here that are sensitive that I've worked with on that, and that's awesome advice for them. Because I didn't think of it that way.
Not many people do, but I've had my own experiences. People on my team have had their own experience, and it's one of those life lessons. It really is.
Don't go chasing them. You sit there long enough, believe me. Put out that what would you say, that green light. You're more than welcome to come to me.
But I'm not coming to you. That way you're in control, because once you lose your control, that makes you a target.
Yeah, Brandon says you got to play hard to get.
Bingo.
Believe me, if they've got a message that they want to say, they'll find you. They'll let you know.
Yeah, I guarantee that just by your EVPs. You weren't even trying to get something. You're just having a conversation, and they wanted to let themselves known to you, and they did. Well, you guys,
awesome being on your show, bud.
Hey, you know what? It's all this way. It was awesome you guys being on. It was a pleasure, and I'll tell you now, everything that people have praised you guys about came out on the show here with you guys. Very cool.
Brandon.
Brandon's awesome.
No, we share it. It's just when it comes to the spiritual side, I put my foot down.
I got the tech side. You know what? We wouldn't be fire and ice without each other.
We're the balance.
Brandon, you'll have to check out the archive earlier in the show, and you can see that, yes, Gary was doing a lot of talking earlier. Well, you guys have a good...
Find us on Facebook, guys.
Yeah, definitely. And
FireandIceParanormal.com. You can just call us. We'll help you.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll put their link on my Facebook, too, and I'll be putting this archive up in case anyone's missed the show. If you know anyone that couldn't make it tonight, any friends in that, let them know. Go to Paranormal Wavelengths Facebook, and it'll be right on there. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a good night. I'll be talking with you guys.
All right, hon.
All right, good night.
Bye.
All right. That was very cool having them on. Lots of great information and, telling us about the experience and very good advice Red was giving and Gary. So that was Gary and Virginia Walters of Fire and Ice Paranormal Investigators. They're here in Florida over on the West Coast. So if you have any problems, check out go to Fire and Ice Paranormal Investigators, I think it's .com, and they're also located on Facebook. Definitely, if you have any problems going on and need some help, they're the people to go to. So check them out. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. And like I told you earlier, our guest for next week had to cancel due to some family things going on. So next week, I have another guest that might be on, but I can't confirm it yet. If not, like I said earlier, it'll just be a show with EVPs, pictures, anything you want to share. Send to paranormalwavelinks@yahoo.com. And I let you know I'll answer some emails that people have been asking me, questions people have been asking me over the last year about why I got started in this. And some people have asked questions about my daughter Morgan that I have talked about on here that passed away of heart disease. So we'll actually answer that next week. So you guys all have a good work week. And this is Paranormal Wavelengths signing out. And we're going to end with pedalsandsage.com ad. You guys all have a good night.
For thousands of years, cultures from around the world have burned secret plants So if you need items and tools for your smudging, then please visit pedalsandsage.com. Helping those in need. pedalsandsage.com.